tensions continue to rise between Iran and its adversaries, the United States and Israel, a key question emerges. If a direct conflict erupts, which strategic locations will Iran target? This analysis explores that question in detail, considering military capabilities, geographic proximity, strategic interests, and pressure tactics on both sides. Iran's likely targets inside Israel. First, Negev Airbase, home to Israel's F-35 stealth fighter jets. This base plays a central role in air operations. Disabling it would severely impact Israeli air capabilities. Second, the Mona nuclear facility, a symbolically and strategically critical target. An attack here would send a powerful message and destabilize Israeli morale. Third, Ben Gurion International Airport. A blow to Israel's primary international gateway could disrupt the country's economy and civilian life. Fourth, military and intelligence headquarters in Tel Aviv and Haifa. Hitting command centers could delay or confuse Israel's rapid military responses. Iranian targets against the U.S. in the region. First, Al Udeid Airbase in Qatar, the largest U.S. military base in the region, a central hub for Middle Eastern air operations. Second, Ain al-Assad Airbase in Iraq, already targeted by Iran in 2020 after the assassination of General Soleimani. Still a high-priority target due to proximity and precedent. Third, U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, the heart of American naval operations in the Persian Gulf. A direct strike would have major symbolic and operational consequences. Fourth, U.S. bases in UAE, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. If these nations join the conflict or allow direct operations against Iran, their U.S. bases may be seen as legitimate military targets. Safe distance guidelines in the event of a missile strike. 0 to 2 kilometers, extremely dangerous. Total destruction, instant fatalities. 2 to 5 kilometers, very dangerous. Shrapnel, fire, blast waves. 5 to 10 kilometers, moderately dangerous. Building damage, sound shock. 10 to 20 kilometers, semi-safe. Vibrations, fear, broken glass. 20 plus kilometers, safe. Suitable for media and emergency teams. Probable scenarios in case of war. Limited missile exchange, symbolic strikes and retaliation. Estimated likelihood, 60%. Proxy warfare via resistance axis. Activation of allied groups in Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq. Estimated likelihood, 75%. Preemptive U.S.-Israeli strike. If intelligence points to imminent threats. Estimated likelihood, 30%. Massive Iranian retaliation. In response to strategic assassinations or infrastructure attacks. Estimated likelihood, 40%. Emergency diplomatic resolution. If war becomes too costly. Estimated likelihood, 45%. Leverage and pressure tactics. Iran's leverage tools. Closing the Strait of Hormuz. Global oil flow disruption. Spikes in energy prices. Proxy forces. Mobilizing allies like Hezbollah, Houthis, PMU in Iraq. Cyber warfare. Targeting critical infrastructure. Energy, finance, and water. Media and psychological ops. Misinformation campaigns and morale disruption. Strategic ties with China and Russia. Economic and military counterbalance to Western pressure. U.S. and Israeli leverage tools. Crippling sanctions. Cutting oil exports, banking networks, and high-tech access. Strikes on vital infrastructure. Attacks on Iran's electricity grid, communications, and refineries. Regional military alliances. Equipping Gulf states with advanced defense systems. Hacking internal unrest. Amplifying domestic protests through funding and media. Cyber and industrial sabotage, like the Stuxnet operation on Iran's nuclear program. Key strategic question. Would Iran risk its ties with neighboring states to attack U.S. military bases in the region? Answer. Iran generally aims to maintain balanced ties with its neighbors, particularly Iraq, Qatar, and Oman. However, if these countries allow U.S. forces to launch direct attacks from their soil, Iran may consider striking those bases, even at the cost of diplomatic relations. The 2020 missile strike on Ain al-Assad airbase in Iraq is a precedent. Despite close ties with Baghdad, Iran retaliated because that base was directly involved in the assassination of General Soleimani. In short, Iran's red line is not mere presence of U.S. forces, but active participation in hostilities against it. If neutrality is breached, retaliation becomes both likely and, in Iran's view, justifiable. Final summary. A direct war between Iran and the U.S. or Israel would be catastrophic. Yet if it occurs, Iran holds a credible range of military options, both direct and indirect. From missile strikes on Israeli and U.S. assets to economic disruption through the Strait of Hormuz, cyber attacks, and proxy warfare, Iran can impose serious costs. On the flip side, the U.S. and Israel possess economic, technological, and military superiority that enables a devastating response. The most likely outcome, if conflict escalates, is a limited but intense proxy war, unless miscalculation or provocation tips the balance toward all-out confrontation.